The South China Sea, a region with large reserves of oil and natural gas, rich fishing grounds and strategic sea routes, is a key flashpoint in the new Cold War. A case in point is the recent entry of the Chinese Coast Guard's 165-meter monster ship into the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. The Philippines have termed it as an act of intimidation. And it's not just the Philippines. Japan, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia all have complaints about Chinese aggression in the strategic region. But what's the intent behind China's moves? What is the Chinese Coast Guard up to? And what role will their new monster ships play in it? Why have Xi Jinping's monster ships scared China's neighbors? News9 Plus Decodes. Let's first take a look at China's new monster Coast Guard ship. The CCG 5901 is a 541 feet long vessel and displaces some 12,000 tons. This is 3 times the size of the US Coast Guard's main patrol vessels, the National Security Cutters, and even overshadows several US Navy destroyers. Even in firepower, the Chinese monster outguns the US Coast Guard. It has 2 main 76.2mm guns compared to the 1 main 57mm gun on the US ships. Anchored near the Sabina Shoal in the Spratly Islands, some 130 kilometers northwest of the island of Palawan, Xi Jinping's monster ship is a state-of-the-art vessel. It is equipped for a variety of missions, including law enforcement, surveillance, and potentially military operations. The Chinese Coast Guard is using it to intimidate its neighbors, while avoiding escalation by sending a full grey-hulled military vessel. But what is the Chinese Coast Guard doing in the South China Sea? The Chinese Coast Guard enforces BJP's claims in the South China Sea. These claims are based on the 9-dash line, which covers almost the entire sea, despite a 2016 ruling by the UN's Permanent Court of Arbitration that invalidated these claims. To bolster its position, China has constructed several artificial islands and military outposts, and its Coast Guard has become increasingly aggressive in patrolling these waters. In one notable case, Filipino sailors were attacked with bladed weapons by Chinese personnel during a resupply mission to the second Thomas Shoal. In another, a Taiwanese fishing vessel was seized for allegedly violating China's fishing regulations. These actions are backed by a new Chinese law that allows the Coast Guard to arbitrarily detain foreign vessels and individuals suspected of violating Chinese maritime laws for up to 60 days. So what does this mean for the region? China's aggressive maritime strategy has not only strained its relations with neighboring countries like the Philippines and Taiwan, but is also drawing international concern, particularly from the US and Europe. And while the region may be central to Chinese claims of sovereignty and narratives of national pride, the Middle Kingdom must be careful not to be the bull in the China shop.